Well, good afternoon folks from southeast Queensland again. It's a beautiful balmy 25 degrees at the present time and a really beautiful day around here. My block of land out here is about 20 minutes from the centre of the city. It's right in between the whole swag of heavily subdivided areas, but we've been lucky enough to be here for quite a long while. A beautiful place to live. This is my AU 2000 LTD, formerly a car which originally cost about $59,000. Leather trimmed, V8, 5 litre, fuel injected. It's been a very nice car. This has got about 168,000 Ks on it. Very clean. I think it's been used as a wedding car at some point because all the 4 seats are quite stretched in the leather, and it hasn't affected the vehicle at all. It still runs quite nicely. Inside it's good. It's quite nice. Seats are in good order inside there. All the interior fittings are where they should be. Door cards are in good shape around the place. I'm just giving it a wash because I'm taking it up to my friend's place up in Toowoomba tomorrow. That's the plates for a utility I've just bought, which I'll be doing a video on, and just to show you a quick look at the car to show what it's like. A couple of tools I'll have to take out of it. But the main thing I want to show you is what some of the traps that you can run into with these vehicles. Now, they're very nicely made, these cars. I think they're a superior car to the Holden of the era in some ways. Probably not all. There's a problem with these things. They get a leak, a bad leak, just down here in that point there, which is where the high pressure hose comes out of the fuel of the steering pump, and there's still got a little seep of oil there. Now the thread there bottoms out, and it allows the oil pressure to go past it, and it creates a leak. Now that's a big problem because this particular thing is a half steel pipe here, which goes down and then joins up the high pressure pipe at the bottom, goes back into the steering, and it's an absolute dog to fit. It's terrible. Now I've already had this apart. It took me probably 2 days to be able to pick the thread up in it. I was almost at the point where I was going to take the pipe and the steering pump off it and send it off to somebody, to an engineer who actually knows what he's doing to fix it. But the main thing I want to point out to you is what can happen up here. This is common to most LTDs too, and it's the area just above the plenum chamber. The plenum chamber is the chamber that runs behind here and goes down into through those areas, and now it takes all the water and drain from every from the water that comes down the windscreen and other areas. Now under here, and particularly where they put these modification plates here, as you can see there's a hole under here which should be about that round, and they block it. And what happens is the leaves get down in there and they back up, into the plenum chamber, and the plenum chamber gets wet, and then the plenum chamber starts to rust out the plenum chamber, and that's not very good. There's little screws that go in here, plastic ones. Where's my finger? You see it somewhere. There it is. Little plastic fittings go in there, and you'll inevitably break those when you pull them out, so you have to buy some new ones. But the dirt and the muck fill up underneath there, and the net result is, and that's an area that nobody ever cleans. They never look at it. They never take any notice of it. And as you can see, I didn't take the wiper blades off because they're a bit of a dog to get on and off to do them. There, got to take them off and shift that point out of there, and then undo the nut. But I did take them out enough to be able to get the thing done here. Now if you look down in here, you'll see probably that there's still some dirt in there, just down in the base here. And if I can get that onto it, yes, there we are, down in the bottom there, you can see that that is dirt. There is dirt sitting down in there, and I've got to try and get that out in a minute, and that's the area where they start to go, and they get very nasty in there. So I'm going to put the hose in there in a minute and blow all that out. But that's what you can do. You can undo those things. They're not hard to do, and get the dirt out from underneath these areas here, because that's hollow under here. Dirt sits there, and over a period of time we'll go through the paint and it'll rust out the thing. It's common to just about every fair lane made. Anywhere you find those areas, at some point every year, pull them off and clean them. Otherwise you'll regret it later. Nice car this. Does about 13.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is not brilliant. It's about 22 miles to the gallon. They can be made a lot better if you play with them, but this isn't a vehicle that does a huge amount of mileage, so I'm not too worried about it. I had done a few things to it. It's had a front end done in it, shock absorbers, it's had another battery, it's had filters. I've cleaned out the throttle body system here. That's that fellow here, that's the throttle body, and they get very dirty. So does the map sensor up here. That's a sensor there. You clean these out, clean that out, and you clean that out there. I've taken them off to do them. You can do them in situ, but they don't bloody well clean properly. So you're better off just to spend the time. It takes you a couple of hours to do it. It's not that bad. Anyway, serpentine belt's been done on it. Brakes are in good order. Cruise control works. Everything works. It's got a very stiff throttle on it, which we don't know quite what to do with at that particular point. I suspect it's a fly-by-wire, in which case there's a resistance problem there. I don't intend to try and find it because I'm not clued up enough to know what to do there. I'll leave that to the people who know what they're on about. We've had rats here. The rats have been down in the base here, as you can see from the nutshells and the residue that's in there. It's a wonder they didn't take my wiring out. They're a darn nuisance, these things. You leave a car sit around and they get in there and they do all sorts of things to it. Anyway, just a couple of pointers about it. These are dirt cheap, these cars. They sell anywhere from $400 for an early one to $5,000 to $6,000 for an LTD like this. Even up into the mid 2000s they'll sell for that money. $2,500. If they've been well looked after, they're a great motor car. And I think they're a disgusting price for something which is as good as they are. So I intend to buy more of them. Anyway, just for the moment, that's about the size of it. Just thought I'd let you know. Put a new set of tyres on it too. It had Chinese tyres on it and they were useless in the wet, so I've changed them and put some decent rubber on it. So it's cost a bit. So anyway, nice car. Take it up to Toowoomba tomorrow. See how we go. See you later, bye.